We're here today with Andrew Dyduk from Schnitz Franchising. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks, Justine.
What makes Schnitz unique?
Well, I guess you could say that we've really taken a product that everybody loves, the humble schnitzel, and we've really transformed into an amazing menu. We use real meat, so we use real chicken, real beef, pork, fish, and we've even got a vegetarian option as well, which we schnitzelize. So we basically crumb all the meat. So we'll make it with the egg wash, the flour. We then use breadcrumbs, and then we basically pan cook it in fresh oil as well. So we use vegetable oil, 100% cholesterol-free vegetable oil, and it just tastes amazing. So we basically serve the schnitzels in rolls and wraps. We also have various options like meal packs, for example, with chips and salad. We've got a few healthy salad options, and we've got a whole range of different salad ingredients that we use in the rolls. We've got 12 amazing flavours, so all inspired by sort of international and sort of continental flavours, and I guess this is the start of something really huge.
You're a young QSR. What are some of the challenges you've faced in growing your brand?
Staffing is always a tricky one. Finding really good quality staff that aren't going to cost you the earth is always a tricky sort of slope to tread. I guess the other things that we're looking at is obviously systematising and developing processes around the business as well, just to make sure that everything is delivered consistently. So obviously with a product like a schnitzel, it's very difficult, especially at the moment where we actually manually sort of hand tenderise with a mallet the meat. So what we're actually developing, we've got a machine that we're actually importing from Germany, which is called the Schnitzel Master, and basically it can actually manufacture about 500 kilos of meat per hour. And so we're going to give that to our manufacturer and our supplier to make sure that all the schnitzel's coming at a consistent thickness, and that means that obviously that the product quality is there. Other challenges that we face, I think, really come down to training as well, making sure that the staff are well trained, and that all the product is delivered consistently. So the wrapping of the the wraps, and the actual producing the rolls, and all of that, the whole process needs to be, I guess, systematised, if you will. I guess the other challenges are obviously marketing and brand recognition, and I think that's something else that we need to address, and we're slowly developing that brand, I guess the brand loyalty, you can say, but I guess they're the three main sort of areas that we need to focus on.
What areas are you targeting for growth? We're
really focusing on the CBD areas and really looking at a sort of high density growth strategy. So we're looking at probably developing about 10 stores in and around Melbourne CBD, and sort of slowly spiralling outside of the CBD. We already have a store in Richmond and Hawthorn. We've got another store earmarked for Elstonwick, and probably another one in Camberwell and Malvern. So we're slowly starting to grow out into the suburban areas. But I think at the moment our key strategy is really to focus on the CBD, make sure we've got our systems and processes right, make sure that we also can get to a point where we've got, say, 10 to 12 stores, so we can get bank accreditation, and then hopefully that'll give us a bit of leverage to then help more franchisees profit from our experience.
Since starting the franchise, what changes have you made?
We've made loads of changes. Firstly, I think the processes that we've adopted have been really critical. So we've been documenting everything that we do, fine-tuning the processes, and obviously writing that up and retraining staff and so forth. The menu has gone through a number of revisions, and probably will go through a few more. At the moment, we feel that the menu's probably, the way the menu's structured is probably a little bit too confusing. So we're cutting back on a few items and really simplifying the ordering process as well. We've introduced a point of sale system in terms of basically structuring the way the ordering process goes, and more importantly being able to measure the actual performance of every store, which is really important once we start to charge royalties and so forth. I think it's a critical part. But at the same time, we're able to really monitor and manage all of our KPIs, from store to store, and it all gets reported back to head office, which is brilliant. We've been implementing a lot of IT infrastructure as well, which has been a huge hurdle to overcome. But that's just one of those things that once we get volume, and once we've actually got more stores, it's really going to start to benefit that. So we've got bookkeeping processes in place, and accounts management processes and so forth. And I guess the other thing is really networking with people. That's been something else that we've really enjoyed. So we went last year to the Expo. We had 100 inquiries from people that visited the Expo. We had our promo girls at the Expo, which were a huge hit, and really getting the brand brand presence out there, and yeah, that's been a real learning curve for us.
How are you promoting Schnitz and customer loyalty?
We're looking at implementing a loyalty program this year called Schnitzaholics. It sort of stemmed from the idea that a lot of our customers would approach us and they would actually say, your food is absolutely addictive. We had customers from Perth flying down once a month to our store in Richmond, for example. They just love the product. They just can't get enough of it. And in a way, it was kind of like fueling an addiction. They were just like, oh, I have to have this. We had people driving from all over Melbourne to our stores telling us how much they love the product. So from that point of view, our chips have been winning awards as well. My brother spent 3 months perfecting the seasoning for our chips. We've got diamond cut beer battered chips, and that's a huge hit with the market. And so that's kind of where the idea stemmed from. So the Schnitzaholics program is very much a swipe card sort of loyalty program where you accrue points. You'll get free rolls and wraps. You'll get free chips, free other promotions and so forth. And that's something you can use from store to store, which is really great.
What are your plans and goals for 2011?
2011 for us is very much about finalising the systems and processes and really packaging up the franchise offering so that when we do start to expand, we've got a really solid foundation.
Andrew Dyduk, thanks for your time today with QSR Media.
Thanks very much, Justine.